Toyota Rav4 2.2 D4D 2008. So further to the video I made on the EGR valve, the testing and cleaning, testing for a sticking EGR valve, I want to show an issue with these vehicles that throws up faults on the dash when the EGR valve has been disconnected, unrelated faults due to the EGR being unplugged. It shows that there's issues with the traction control, VSC, and the four-wheel drive system, all from the EGR valve being unplugged. Now, Toyota know about this issue. It's there's a technical service bulletin for it, and there's a firmware update to stop this happening. This car hasn't had it, so I want to document the fault and show you the issue, and then I'm going to read it with Toyota TechStream and clear the codes. So just a simple quick video in this Rav4 2.2 D4D series I am doing. So I'm going to cycle the ignition now, show there's no faults. There we go, the initial check, no faults. So I'm going to stop the video and start recording from under the bonnet. So now we're set up under the bonnet. I've removed the key from the ignition, so the ignition is off. I'm going to remove this cover, disconnect the EGR valve and cycle the ignition and show you the faults it throws up. Remove that. So this has got an oil leak, we can see. I'm going to do the injector copper washers as well in a future video. Like I say, I'm going to make a series on this vehicle. So yeah, let's connect that. EGR valve there. Disconnect that. Now I'm going to cycle the ignition. So we're back in the car. I'm going to cycle the ignition and document these faults. The disconnected EGR throws up. There we go, check 4x4 system, check VSC system, so traction control. There we go, so that's just from the disconnected EGR valve. If I start it up, the engine light, the engine management light will stay on. So what I'm going to do now is get my laptop and plug it in, and we'll show that it's just the EGR valve that's caused these faults. And as I say, Toyota do know about this problem and there is a firmware update for it. So we're back under the bonnet. Just make sure the ignition's off. It's not. Turn the ignition off. Ignition off. So I'm going to plug the EGR valve back in. I'm going to cycle the ignition again, show you the faults are still there. cycle the ignition again. There we go, check 4x4, it's focusing. Damn thing. Check VSC system, let's let that cycle again, check 4x4. Yep, 4x4 and VSC. Okay, so that's with the EGR valve plugged back in. Now I'm going to get the computer set up and show you that it's just the EGR valve causing that. Back in the car, we've got TechStream plugged in. EGR valve's plugged back in, as you've seen. Turn the ignition on. Check 4x4. Check VSC. So we'll go to connect the vehicle. Spec option. It's about right. 4-wheel drive, and we don't. It's without smart key. Without smart key. Click next. There we go. So we'll go to engine first. EGR valve. I'm not going to erase that just yet. Close it. We'll go into the ABS VSC traction control. C1201. All these from unplugging the EGR valve. Close that. 4-wheel drive. Double click it. C1280. Again from unplugging the EGR valve. Still flashing up on the dash there. Check 4x4 and VSC. Yep. Come back to this. Close that. We'll go back to the engine and ECT. And we will erase. Clear. It's been cleared. Yep. And back to the dash. They've gone. I will cycle the ignition again. Close TechStream off. Oops. There we go. Menu. Let that load. we go. And back to the dash, cycle the ignition on and off again. So, all that from the unplugged EGR valve. I thought it was quite interesting myself, and it's just something to note and consider. And as I say, Toyota do know about this issue, and there is a firmware update for it. Yeah, I thought that was a interesting little subject to make a video on. The next video I'll probably going to do is the prop shaft bearing. I'm going to order one of those and I'll get that videoed and uploaded in due course.